This is Savvina AI, a self-hosted platform that lets you query your databases using plain English. The project is a full-stack application with a Python Fast API backend and a React frontend. Everything you need to run it is here, from the data source adapters through to the LLM provider integrations. After cloning the repo, let's create the environment file to get it running locally. First, I will configure the backend database password. For this purpose, Postgres is used with the PG vector extension powering the semantic query cache, storing question embeddings, and performing cosine similarity searches to match new questions against previously answered ones. Savvina supports PostgreSQL and MySQL out of the box, so I will add the test DBS profile to test Savvina immediately. I will finish my environment setup with port, cores, and test databases configuration. Savvina uses CORS to control which domains can talk to the API from a browser, but the RAIL security comes from JWT token validation on every request, org-scoped database queries, SQL read-only validation, rate limiting, and the scanner guard blocking exploit paths at the network edge. If I want to speed things up, I can add a Hugging Face token in env file, which avoids anonymous rate limiting when downloading the fast embed model. After everything is in place, I can proceed with building my containers with a simple Docker Compose command. Savvina ships as a fully containerized application via Docker Compose, bundling the Fast API backend, React frontend, and optionally a local Alma LLM service, via a separate profile, into a single startup command, while PostgreSQL can be run as a container alongside the stack or swapped for a managed cloud instance such as AWS RDS, Google Cloud SQL, or Azure Database for PostgreSQL. While the build is running, let's walk through what Savvina AI actually is. At its core, Savvina is a natural language interface for your database. You ask a question in plain English, Savvina generates the SQL, executes it, and hands you back results, as a table, as a chart, or as a downloadable file. Savvina connects to your data sources always through a read-only role, and LLM providers are pluggable: Claude, OpenAI, Grok, Gemini, Mistral, and more, switchable per chat session without changing any connection settings. The most important concept in Savvina, the thing that separates it from a simple text-to-SQL wrapper, is the semantic model. Raw database schemas are written for machines, not people. Some column names mean nothing to an LLM without context. The LLM still doesn't know that status means active, or that fiscal year is the correct time axis and not created at. Without that context, the LLM guesses, and in a business context, a wrong number presented confidently is worse than no number at all. The semantic model is a structured business language overlay that sits on top of your raw schema and gets injected into every LLM prompt automatically. You generate it once, and as with any AI-generated output, the semantic model should always be reviewed and validated by a senior analyst or domain expert before it's used in production. Think of it as your team's institutional knowledge, captured once and applied consistently on every single query from that point forward. At the table level, each table gets a display name, a description, and a grain, what one row actually represents. One row equals one order. One row equals one customer. That grain statement alone prevents a whole class of double-counting errors in generated SQL. At the column level, each column is classified by semantic type and value mappings are stored explicitly, so the LLM always uses the correct raw values in where clauses. At the cross-table level, the model stores join patterns, named business metrics with their exact SQL definitions, total revenue, gross margin, conversion rate, reusable where clause segments, and derived column expressions, all applied consistently across every query. The result is that every chat session starts with the LLM already knowing your business vocabulary, your KPI definitions, and how your tables connect. There's no warm-up, no repeated context setting, and no prompt engineering required from the end user. The semantic model handles all of that invisibly in the background. And that's what makes Savvina genuinely useful rather than just technically impressive. The build should be nearly done now. Let's switch to the browser and see it in action. As soon as the browser opens at Savvina page, a quick setup wizard gets us started. I will first create my account passing a name, an email, and the password. Afterwards, I will use one of the built-in test databases, sample MySQL in this case, passing all connection settings, to run my questions. After connectivity is successfully tested, the connection is saved for questions. Finally, an LLM provider is configured. Gemini 2.5 Flash is tried first for the semantic model generation, but the provider throws a 503 error, most probably due to high traffic. Let's check if a new model will get things moving. Mistral is configured now, which also has a generous free tier for testing. Now the semantic model is generated. Savvina sends the schema to Mistral and builds a complete business language overlay automatically. Navigating through the tabs, you can see exactly what was inferred. The Tables tab shows every table annotated with a display name, description, and grain. The Business Metrics tab holds named KPIs with their exact SQL definitions. Common Joins captures the reusable join patterns derived from foreign keys. Relationships maps how tables connect to each other. And derived columns and time expressions rounded out with calculated fields and dialect-specific date helpers. As always, have a senior analyst review the model before going to production. Now it is time for the first question. Typed into the chat in plain English, the SQL is generated, validated, and executed in seconds. On the right, you can already see the Schema Explorer, tables and columns, all browsable without leaving the screen. A bar chart visualizing total revenue per cuisine type is just 2 clicks away. A couple more questions follow, and the charts appear automatically after a few clicks. Savvina utilizes bar charts to compare categories and discrete groups, line charts to reveal trends over time, area charts to emphasize volume across a sequence, pie charts to show part-to-whole proportions, scatter charts to expose correlations between two numeric columns, and combo charts mixing bar and line series on the same axis. For single-value results, Savvina automatically renders a number card for KPI metrics or a gauge chart for rate and percentage columns. This is the analytics magic Savvina delivers. Whether you are in finance chasing actuals versus budget, or in the food and hospitality industry tracking restaurant performance and customer ordering trends, Savvina removes the bottleneck between your team and the data they already own. Your data, your database, your LLM provider, answering real business questions in seconds. Go ahead and try it yourself.